go.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday. And as always, we start out with our picks of the week. So what are you over there giggling about?
Sorry.
Anyway, Cass will usually, as always, start us off with his pick of the week. What do you got there?
Okay, this week I have this new album from Lana Del Rey, Norman fucking Rockwell. A lot of people have been waiting for this all year, myself included. The first single that came out, or one of the first singles, Venice Bitch, was a pretty huge moment in her career in that she was taking a step into some new territory musically, a bit of psychedelic stuff, a bit of dream pop. Very interesting song from her. It's like 10 minutes and like the last 4 minutes are just like a crazy guitar solo with like keyboards and stuff. It's very weird for her, and that is thanks to Jack Antonoff of Bleacher's fame, and he's produced like Lorde and Taylor Swift. He's a pretty big producer right now, and he produced this, co-produced it, pretty much did like most of the instrumentals on here, and you can hear his influence on here a lot. He definitely has found the perfect sound for Lana, and those two, I guess, are just a perfect match because this record is definitely her masterpiece. I would say it's I'd say it's an artist reaching their fullest potential. You know, I've been a fan of hers for a long time, and I've always felt like, as great as she is, like her albums have been somewhat flawed. You know, sometimes her lyrics can be a little samey, and her instrumentals can be kind of drab on occasion, and her voice was not always super strong back in the day, but she's definitely come into her own on this one, and a lot of people were kind of having suspicions that this might be a very great record because each single coming out was better than the last. So this is a pretty huge record from her. It's a lot of critics are hyping it up, so please give it a listen. If you haven't really been a fan of hers before, this one might change you a bit. It is very different, very mature, all around consistent release from her. It's $39.95, a little pricey, but it's definitely worth it. So please give it a listen.
Okay. I could not disagree with you more. I just don't like, I'm not a fan, and I don't think there's been this vast improvement that you seem to be hearing. I don't know what you're seeing in that. I just agree to disagree, but I listened to this with you, and for me, you're right, the same themes, her lyrically, it's just the same thing over and over again, and I know that, you could accuse Bethany from Best Coast for being the same way, but it's like, I don't feel like Bethany from Best Coast is so affected. Like, I just find her to be, completely, I don't know, Cass, I just... And also, there's a cover of Gershwin's Summertime on here. I'm sure Gershwin and Ella Fitzgerald are rolling in their graves because it was just...
Good one.
It was not.
I think it's, it's the Sublime song.
No, Gershwin. Summertime and The Living is Easy.
Oh, she did 2 covers? I thought it was the Sublime song, Doin' Time.
No, Summertime, and it was just dismal.
I was a fan of that, so...
All right, then, to each his own. One man's pain is another man's pleasure, so there you go. Anyway, just going on record to say I'm not buying her story, but there you go. Okay, my pick for you this week is Bon Iver. This is I on Jaguar, and this has been out digitally, but now today, here we go, it's on vinyl. And, this title, I, despite that title, this is really his most collaborative effort to date, and by him I mean Justin Vernon, who goes and records under Bon Iver. But he began Bon Iver in solitude, alone with guitars, holed up in a little hunting lodge cabin out in, Wisconsin or something like that? I can't remember. Yeah, well anyway, that's where in 2008 he recorded For Emma Forever Ago. So anyway, this has, he's touching on themes of spirituality and loyalty and the extinction and global warming he's concerned about. And there's one track on here that's just called You, Manlike, and his guests, himself, Bruce Hornsby, who I think co-wrote it with him, and Moses Sumney and Wyoke's Jen Wasner. They're all on there sharing, admonitions about the Me Too era. There's a lyric that's just "man improve" that they kind of keep pounding on about. And anyway, the final song on this, Rabbi, R-A-B-I, I don't know how you say it. This also is countering the fear of death with also the fleeting pleasures of life. So he's digging deep on this one, but it's, this willingness that he has to kind of really wildly change between records is kind of what's really been the payoff for the last decade with this guy. So, and he manages to do it without, diminishing any of his emotional input. I think he likes to record more like the sound of his voice and how he can push it around than lyrics. You know what I mean? It's like, because sometimes it does seem a little nonsensical, right? But yeah, I think he likes to explore, how he can bend his voice around. I like that too. So anyway, this, it comes here in a matte finished gatefold jacket with they're calling it spot gloss inks, wrapped in a clear plastic printed sleeve, and contains a full 28-page booklet and a digital download, and it's $23.95.
All right, yeah, definitely a return to form for him.
Yeah, he's digging deep, but it's the last one was at 22 million something.
Yeah, I didn't like that one too much.
It had a lot of that really weird, like when they're singing through that vocoder type stuff. Yeah. I don't always like that, and so I'm kind of glad to see this little return to his kind of growly vocal,
more folksy.
Yeah, it's good.
Definitely.
So I know you have a few more things you want to talk about and showcase and all that. What do you got there?
I guess first we should mention the Tool album. That's, hasn't come in yet. We have some ordered. It's kind of up in the air about whether or not, when they'll arrive or if we'll get them. I looked up this article saying that most stores completely oversold it, and retailers are having trouble getting it because it's Tool, so
it's coming. It's just it's kind of you can see part of the tracking of it supposedly on the way. So anyway, I would think it'll be around. Don't worry.
Hopefully that comes. But just to speak on it real quick, it is a very, very good album. Tool. It's been like 10 years, I think, something like that, since their last album, maybe even more than that. And it's pretty. Did you get to listen to it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty much Tool as usual. Nothing like they didn't totally switch up their sound. It's honestly like you take all the classic, sounds of Tool like a formula and just like plugged it into a Tool song generator.
People are pretty excited about it. It's a big release.
It's really good though. So if you're a Tool fan, you will not be disappointed by any means. So
no, I wouldn't
definitely
think so.
Give that a listen. And I guess also real quick, we finally got the colored Tom York Anima.
Big orange vinyl, yay!
It's a little pricey, I think it's $30, but...
And then there's the deluxe box too, which is running about, 80 something?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, but it looks
that's got a
cool.
big booklet in it too as well. And it's like not even worth showing because it's in a cardboard box because they had to keep it, real secure, and so that's why he's just gonna, show you that one.
Yeah.
Okay, and...
So here's some actual pics. These are both out last week, actually. But we did not get a chance to do our video last week, so I'll mention them now. First is J-Som, Enak Co. on polyvinyl. J-Som is a band, it's not her name actually. They're a band from Oakland, dream pop band. This is their third studio album, and their second one, I can't remember what it's called, but that was kind of their breakthrough. Came out a couple years ago. Pitchfork was raving about it, and that kind of broke them through into the indie industry. But I was not too huge on that record, but this one is really, really good. And me and Lorain both liked it last week. We both wanted to have it as our pick. It is basically just a very, very solid, consistent dream pop record with some great guitar work, very catchy vocals, and just great band chemistry from all the members. The drummers, or the rhythm section drummer and bass player definitely are locked in most of the time here. Some great bass lines. And it's just really good. I was very surprised by this. I definitely think this will probably end up being one of my favorites of the year. It's been like a week since it came out. I've already heard it like 5 times, so definitely check this out. The song Superbike is excellent. And what did you think of it?
I liked her too. Her vocal is really, really good. And, there's just like kind of a lot of, it's a very mature record, didn't you think too?
Yeah.
So, no, I really, really liked it as well. And yeah, we did. We were like, both of us kind of wanted to discuss it. We had technical difficulties last week, so we didn't get to do one. But that was one we both were a big thumbs up on. So, yeah, J-Som.
So check it out. It's on colored vinyl as well, orange pink splatter, $21.95. So we still got a few copies of that.
Yep.
Next, this also came out last week, Tropical Fuckstorm, Australian group. This is contains a couple members of another band called The Drones, and this is their new project. Singer Gareth Lillard and the girl in The Drones. This is their new project. Pretty similar to The Drones, very experimental, noisy, and a little bluesy punk music. It's very, very weird. They definitely are trying to have like a very distinct sound, and just playing any of their songs just for like 2 minutes, you can definitely hear Their guitars are just very twisted, very shrill, and the vocals are very intense, very frightening sometimes too. And this is their second studio album. The first one came out last year. They already got another one out. And I think this one's a little better than the last one. Just like I said, very crazy songwriting on here. The songs just go very weird directions you wouldn't expect. The final song on here, Maria 63, excellent track, probably going to be one of my favorites of the year as well. So give it a listen if you want to hear something very weird, very different. The album cover's absolutely bonkers too, and it's on magenta vinyl as well.
Nice, nice.
So that's 21,
How much? 21?
25 as well.
Okay.
So check those out.
All right. Okay. You got anything else? Is that you all done?
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, since we're talking about a couple of things from last week, I just really feel like we should bring your attention to the great Shannon Lay. This is called August, and that title, this is on Sub Pop, that we got the loser edition here, and brilliantly, it is on orange vinyl to match her hair.
That's awesome.
I know it. It's so great. Anyway, August refers to the month of 2017 where she was able to give up her day job and move on to just doing music full time. We saw her open for Ty Segall over a year
Great
ago.
show. Was it that
And
long ago?
it was.
It was this
And
year, wasn't it?
I didn't know who she was before we saw her. Did you?
No, I didn't either.
Oh.
Yeah, I think no one really knew her at that point.
I think she'd had a couple of things. She'd she was touring with Ty Segall because they're friends, and I think he'd helped her, release some of her own stuff, before. But this girl's finger picking with her guitar playing, and she's a very lyrically great storyteller. I'm so glad that she gave up her day job because anyway, this is her debut release on Sub Pop, and she
Sub Pop picked her up.
I
yeah.
am too.
Awesome.
She's just so good. So anyway, they recorded this in Ty Segall's home studio, and you should really check this out. Cass, I cannot remember the price of this though, and it's like I'm gonna
we
guess.
looked it up earlier.
Yeah, and
I think
I'm
it's $20.95.
I was gonna say $19.95, so it's around about in there, you guys. Okay, so but anyway, so worth it, and the great Shannon Lay. All right.
Yeah.
So for my second thing, and Cass is like totally on board with me this week, and we kind of had to mud wrestle over this one, didn't we?
Over it.
Yeah, but I always win. So this is Whitney. It's Forever Turned Around. It's on Secretly Canadian, which is one of our pal labels we really love. And this is the second full-length release from the ex-Smith Westerns duo, Chicago's Favorite Sons. This is Julian Ehrlich and Max Kakasek. God, I'm sorry, you guys, if I'm butchering
tricky.
your name. I'm just like, Anyway, it's produced by Bradley Cook and Jonathan Rado. You know Jonathan
he's
Rado
everywhere.
from Foxygen. Yes. And the themes here are wonderment and reflection, focusing on the relationships that we choose to invest in, as well as fear and confusion and substance abuse. The things of daily living, right?
That's right.
So they've managed to harness a continuation from where they left off with, they're taking cues from a slew of 60s guitar pop, but they explore those comparisons, but they never sound like a ripoff,
Yeah.
This record has like the same sense of summer nostalgia that A Light Upon the Lake has. Doesn't it always make you think of summer when you
Definitely
listen to them?
does.
Anyway, it can really try to transport you out of your funk if you're in one. So this is a limited edition on forest bark colored vinyl, which is a nice name for brown. Also, it includes a download card. This is $19.95. The cassette is $7.99. And what were your thoughts about this?
It was. I only got to hear it once, but I'm a huge Whitney fan. I think they're one of the best indie rock bands in the world.
That cover looks kind of like death metal, doesn't
I
it?
know.
It's like kind of a funny cover that they decided on. But okay.
But very sweet record. Of course, the guitarist, can't remember his name. His guitar tone's very distinct, very dry. I watched this interview where he says he doesn't use any effects, not even reverb, completely dry.
Wow.
And you can definitely hear it, kind of like Allman Brothers influence there, and even some George Harrison influence in his
okay.
guitar playing. But I just think even though this sound is definitely a throwback, it's not really a sound any bands are really doing, that kind of like 60s, 70s, like soft rock.
Yeah, but they just don't
Piano
sound like
rock.
they're ripping anybody off directly
Yeah,
like a
no.
lot of bands do. It's like, oh, okay, clearly they've been listening to this or that. No, I agree. I just think that they
Julian's
do it
voice.
in a really well,
Excellent.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so my last little thing I want to mention for you is this is a reissue of Greg
Just talking
Allman.
about the Allman Brothers.
Yeah, so here you go. Here's Greg Allman laid back, and this is on Mercury. Now, this came back as it's his debut solo record. It came out in 1973, and then they were all on Capricorn, you know. But anyway, so he released this like about 4 months after his band released Brothers and Sisters, which was a huge record for them. He, you know, there was some dissent in that band. They were just becoming so popular, and you know, they were, you know. Anyway, he decided to go ahead and do this. It's a very masterful solo first record for, you know. He was like able to assume full control of these influences that he had that were like rhythm and blues, soul music, and it didn't really work. You know, the Allman Brothers was like a heavy guitar laden, like kind of rock, southern rock band. So this is like a different thing. And you might remember Midnight Rider was like the big hit off of this record, and it Billboard Top 20. So, you know, that got a lot of airplay for him. There's a cover of Jackson Browne's These Days, which is arguably even better than Jackson Browne's version. But for me, the epic song on this is this one that's called Queen of Hearts. It's just kind of got this great bluesy kind of guitar and a beautiful vocal. It's kind of a longer song. It's not like coming in at 2 or 3 minutes. I forget how long it is. I don't know. But anyway, you know, a friend of mine always used to call that, oh, that's like Texas music. You know, it's not like Southern rock. It has this little more of a mature kind of a bluesy undertone to it. It's just so beautiful. I really, really love that song. It's so good. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this is newly remastered, and it's from the original stereo analog tapes. This one is $22.95. It's also on 180 gram. But anyway, this was in 73. So in 74, he actually embarked on a tour that was at the time kind of unprecedented with like a 24-piece orchestra, played a couple of nights in Carnegie Hall, and they recorded a lot of that is on the Greg Allman tour, this has been long out of print. This is back now. This is $24.95. And so, you know, this kind of a companion piece. There's some like Allman Brothers tracks on here, but he also does this. Now, there's some like deluxe versions of Laid Back that have come out too. I think like a CD and a deluxe vinyl that have like all the demos, outtakes and things like that. But anyway, we just brought it in straight up as it is because this is it in its most perfect form. But really, really great if you want to step back in time. And if you're missing Greg Allman, there you go, okay?
Ooh, sold me on that.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Check
That
it out.
Queen of Hearts is just unbeatable. It's so good.
Greg's the one that passed away recently,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Now we've got our big stack ready to go. Ooh. Gosh, kind of nutty there. All right. So first up, we've got another Sky Forget Yourself EP. Life Was Coming In EP. I guess they're packaged together. Is that what that's about?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's 1995.
Double EP.
Then we got a bunch of, we've got 3 Beirut reissues. Beirut is like, you know, they're an interesting indie rock band because they incorporate a lot of horns, like trumpet, you know, and but they do it so well. Do you like Beirut?
I kind of do. They definitely seem like they were an influence on
I like
Vampire Weekend.
Oh.
Definitely, because you know, Vampire Weekend have that whole horns and like Baroque sound, but
Well,
Beirut did it first.
They're better too.
Oh,
Okay, so
man.
we got Flying Club Cup. This is 1995.
That's a nice cover.
Yeah. Okay, and we've got Gulag Star, 1995, and lastly we got Riptide, and that is 2095.
Oh,
So,
wait, no, we don't have Riptide.
oh, we don't have Riptide out here. There is.
Yeah, it was here earlier.
Oh, somebody ripped off Riptide. Okay.
One's
Well, anyway,
taller.
it's a buck more for that one because it's that much better. Okay, now we've got Black Belt Eagle Scout at the party with my brown friends. This is 1995.
That's an interesting name.
Okay. Okay, and now we've got Boy Scouts Free Company, 1995.
Cool.
I don't know anything about them, do you?
I don't either.
Okay, well, what label's it on? Just out of mild curiosity.
Does it say self-worth?
Check the
Oh,
back.
Anti-Records.
Anti-records?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now here we got some Cabaret Voltaire reissues. This first one is 1974 to 1976, remastered 2 LPs, $28.95.
Out of order.
Yes.
There we go.
Oh, absolutely excellent. I saw Cabaret
Great
Voltaire once, and I
Really?
just absolutely loved them. They were so good. Okay. Yeah, and then this one is Chance versus Casualty, 2 LPs, $28.95.
And they're both colored too. It doesn't say that
Oh,
on paper, but they
no.
are colored. It
Really?
says transparent green.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty cool.
Very nice.
Very underrated.
I think those, oh, I agree too. They're definitely worth
This one's orange.
dropping some money. It's orange?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, now we've got the Carpenters with the Royal Philharmonic, 2 LPs, $27.95. I think that, you know, doesn't really require a lot of explanation. I think that people would know what that's all about. Okay, now we have a Sheryl Crow Threads LP, $22.95. Also has a ton of guest people on here. I know there's like Chris Stapleton is one. Who else? Turn it over for me.
Richards, we got a
Yeah,
lot right here.
okay.
St. Vincent on one of them.
See, James Taylor, Vince Gill, Johnny, what? Johnny Cash, that can't be. Featuring Johnny Cash, that must be.
The late Johnny Cash.
Must be very old. Does this Cash? Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Okay, then Neil Young. I mean, it's got like a bunch of guests. So I'm guessing that threads just mean that, you know, influences and anyway.
Interesting.
Her newest effort, okay. Good for Sheryl Crow. Now we've got Frankie.
Oh, no Frankie.
No, Frankie. Okay, whoops. Okay. Goo Goo Dolls, Gutter Flower LP, $19.95, another reissue.
Yeah, we got 4 of these coming up.
All right, we've got Let Love In, which is $19.95. We have Magnetic for $19.95. Okay. And Something for the Rest of Us, $19.95, which I think that was like a big hit for them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which is the one with, isn't there a song that's called Iris or something?
Yeah, that's the biggest.
What album is that on? Is that?
Honestly, I don't think it's on any of these.
Oh, it isn't?
Yeah, these are deep cuts.
Okay, all right. There you go, Goo Goo Dolls. All right, now we have Vince Guaraldi, who does the Peanuts music. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. It's $19.95, and that should be on colored vinyl, is it not?
It's not.
Because he does.
Pumpkin colored
Of course it should be, and I mean, well, they always do the Christmas one on green vinyl, so that kind of blows. All right, well.
Good album though.
1995. Now we have Guided by Voices, Half Smiles of the Decomposed on red vinyl. This is what, 15th anniversary?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
For some reason it says the final album on a sticker, but it was definitely not the final
No.
album.
They've got such a huge catalog, though. Who could keep track? But anyway, it's really a good listen, and you know, 15th anniversary is a pretty important date. They're bringing it to you on red vinyl now. Okay, now we have Morrissey Best of 180 gram, 2 LPs, $28.95. How many best ofs are there going to be?
Didn't he just have
I
another one
thought so
early
too.
this
It was
year?
like maybe that one was called Greatest Hits. I don't know, but
So, weird gash on his arm. Not really
Oh.
sure what they're going for with that.
yeah, I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
out of my sight.
Oh, that's a little harsh, I'd say, but I don't know, Muzz. What are you doing, man? This is like, you know, this has some good stuff on it, of course. You know, Suede Head, Every Day is Like Sunday, November Spawned a Monster, Sing Your Life, Hairdresser on Fire, Interesting Drug. It's got, you know.
We hate it when our friends become successful.
Yes.
I've not heard that one.
Tomorrow is on here. Okay, well, anyway, it's got a lot of good songs. If you're a Maz fan, there you go. You can get it all here for $28.95. All right, now we've got Nirvana Live and Loud, 2 LPs, $24.95. Live from where?
It's not specified. I think it's a different shows.
Oh, is it?
Compiled.
Okay, well, all right.
Cool.
And now we have the return of Oasis, definitely. Maybe this is the anniversary edition on silver vinyl. That's really nice. 2 LPs, $33.95.
They always had great album covers.
No, they really do. Yeah. But silver vinyl, that sounds great. All right, Offspring Americana red vinyl, $27.95. Okay.
Nice. Another good one.
And now we've got some Rodriguez. You know, there was like a documentary kind of film,
Great
and then he just took off, and then we kind of haven't heard much from him since, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, here's some reissues for you. Cold Fact, $22.95, and Coming from Reality for $22.95. Okay.
Great documentary.
Yeah,
Check that out
he's a
if you
guitar
haven't seen
player,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a Nick Drake, Hispanic Nick Drake. or
Oh, a
something.
Hispanic trick. I'm going to move this so we don't have an accident, okay? Sigur Rós 22 Lunar Halo, $21.95, and this is like another part of those other ones that you had discussed in a previous.
Yeah, I think this actually is it again, but now the cover's different or something.
Really?
So, I think those were the record store day ones. This is just the regular.
Okay. Well, anyway, $21.95. It's probably cheaper than those two, huh?
Definitely is.
All right. Now we have Snail Mail. This is Habit. It's an EP, their first offering, right? Remastered, $17.95. Listen to that this morning, and of course, you know, there's nothing that's going to surprise you. It's like, sounds like everything, you know. So it's the same, sounds the same as like the latest record. There's nothing different from the very beginning to the last one. Okay.
I will say I saw a video of her performing recently, and she sounds much better live these days. So she's definitely working on her craft.
Well, Cass and I had heard this episode of Sessions on Sirius XMU, and we were just like, oh my goodness, because the vocal was really good at all. It wasn't.
She's gotten better. So.
Okay. Unlike Lana Del Rey.
Oh my God.
Okay. Soundtrack, cast, The Avengers, Endgame, Alan Silvestri, picture disc, 1995.
Cool.
If you're getting your Marvel on and you want that soundtrack, there you go. Nice picture disc. Okay. Tool's going to be $47.99, by the way. It's going to be a hefty price. That's like for the deluxe CD we're talking about.
Comes with a screen and speakers and a rechargeable battery. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so see, but anyway, it's coming. Velvet Negroni, Neon Brown, plus a digital download, $21.95. Listen to this morning, and you know, I don't know, you guys, it's just, it's the samey kind of stuff. I mean, it wasn't bad and it wasn't good. It was just that kind of in the middle. Throw it on. There's nothing offensive about it. It was nice, but I don't know if I'd go running out of the gate to get that.
Some of his bars were kind of weak, but
it's okay. I mean, I've heard worse. I've heard much worse. So, okay. Good for you, Velvet. Now we have Wage War, Pressure LP, $19.95. Okay. Now, the lastly things, we've got Wu-Tang Clan of Mics and Men, $19.95. Now, is that a reissue? Oh, it's music from the Showtime documentary series. So, okay, you are going to be familiar with some of these songs, but it's from the documentary. I guess Showtime made a thing of Mics and Men. Okay?
I don't know if I'm going to get behind that title, but it's kind of funny.
All right. Now we got Frank Zappa, Orchestral Favorites. This is $22.95, and
sweet.
Bob's your uncle. Okay. So, anything else that you would like to mention about the weekend? Oh, you know what? If you come in and get that Shannon Lay, you get a sticker. And I think we have some pins for Bon Iver and Whitney as well.
Yeah, we do.
They're not out here at the moment, but okay.
Cool.
Well, yeah, they're just like those enamel little, thumbtack pins. So another incentive for you to come on over and get Bon Iver or Whitney while supplies last. So the fair is here in Monterey this weekend, and there's nobody good playing there. I think there's like a couple of country people and then like a Journey cover band. So it isn't anything like super exciting. But
I think 2 years ago they had like a Sgt. Pepper's cover band, and they were only playing that album, and they were all wearing the outfits, and it was actually pretty funny.
Well,
it was pretty good.
Okay, well, I think the people that do like Beatles cover bands, that's all they do, and they practice over and over, so they've got it down.
Yeah, exactly.
People that do that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm just kind of not into like imitation cover bands where they dress like them and try to look like. I don't know. It's just not my thing.
Weird,
okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I guess if it's like mild entertainment while you're at the fair, go for it. We're still going to be open, but we are closed on Labor Day Monday, just so y'all know, all you local yokels. But, our usual 12 to 4 Saturday and Sunday, right?
Yes.
Are you working Saturday?
Yes, I'll be here tomorrow.
Oh, the
Rare
triumphant
appearance.
return of Cassidy Dunn on Saturday. Woohoo! All right, you can come and mouth off to Cass if you feel like it on Saturday.
Please do.
Yeah. Okay, so that wraps us up. Thanks again. So sorry about last week, but these technical difficulties sound, it happens, and we are small fry, and we can't always help that kind of thing. You know what I mean? We don't have a team. It's just like, if me and Cass can't make it happen, it's not going to happen. So, sorry, but hopefully you got some new music to dig in this pile that we just showed you. So come on over and check it out. We'll see you next time. Thanks.
Thank you.